Yes,
Another synth.
another one.
So what are we talking about?
This one's my best one. This one's it. Beats all of them. Last 35 years, this is it. What can I say? 12 voices, analog, digital, a little bit of everything. We took the best of the Prophet 08, the best of the Polyevolver keyboard, added a bunch of new stuff, and twisted it all together, and we now have the Prophet 12.
So what's new in the Prophet 12? What are the bits you've added there?
Okay, well, we start out with 4 oscillators per voice plus a sub-oscillator per voice, so that's 5. And they're digital because what we wanted to do with the oscillators you can't do with analog. Analog has limits. There's only so much things you can do. If you want to do full FM between all the oscillators, you can't do that with analog. We have amplitude modulation. We have all kinds of shapes that you can do besides the normal sawtooth, square, sine, and triangle. We also have a bunch of wavetables in there where you can mix between them and modulate between wavetables. Can't do that with analog. So for all those reasons, we decided to go with a digital front end. But after that, when you get into the filters, analog low-pass filters, analog high-pass filters, which is new for us, resonant high-pass filters, I should say, and then a VCA. We had the tune feedback, which is from the Poly keyboard. We have quad delay per voice, which is really cool because you can do everything from real short delays for flanging chorus effects all the way to really long 1 second plus full bandwidth stereo delay.
So you could do separate ones for each oscillator?
For each voice.
Each voice, all right.
Yes.
Right.
And of course it can synchronize to the LFOs, which can synchronize to the arpeggiator, which can synchronize to an external clock. So when you do all that stuff per voice, you can get really crazy in the rhythm sense of, well, it just gets silly.
So it's Prophet 12. How many voice polyphony is it?
It's
12 voice.
12.
Right, okay.
12. That was a hint.
Yeah, no, but you said per voice, and there's 4.
Oh, yeah. So we have 60 oscillators because there's 5 oscillators times 12. And so when you go into Unison on this guy, yeah, it can get a little nasty.
I think we better have a listen to some Unison, guys.
Some Unison? Okay, let me pull up a Unison patch.
Oh, is that a new display as well?
Yes, we have an OLED display, which is really nice for doing things like this, where you can see clearly. We have sliders over here that we took from the Tempest. We have a stereo analog distortion at the end. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's dynamic.
Yes, it is. This thing can make some noise. So it also does the big huge pads.
You're kind of pulling some of the Tempest kind of display vibes with the little knobs and stuff, so you're kind of pooling resources.
Oh yes, definitely. Like I said, it's kind of the best of everything we've done up to now, plus a bunch of stuff. So,
yeah. So what else have we got that's new, or have you kind of pretty
well,
much...
we have this whole character section I didn't talk about yet. After the oscillators, we have girth and air, which basically lift up the low end to the high end. We have hack and decimate, which will destroy the sound however much you want. And then we have a second overdrive circuit here. It's more of a soft overdrive clipping sound before it goes into the filter. So when you want to overdrive the filter just a little bit or more than just a little bit, you can do that. That's much different than the analog distortion that's at the end, because that's on the whole signal mix. So you get all the nice intermodulation between voices and notes and so forth when it goes through that. This one is individual per voice.
Is it monotimbral? I mean, how does it work?
Yes, it's like the Prophet 08. We have an A and a B layer, and so you can split sounds, you can stack them, or you can play them all at one. So every program actually has 2 sounds in it. So you don't have to bother with mapping. If you want to do a split sound, it's not like you say, oh, I want program this here and that there. You have 2 sounds all the time. So it's much easier to work with in a live situation or when you're programming.
And what do we got on the I/O front? Let me just come around.
So we have individual outputs for the A and the B layers I was just talking about, so you can route those separately and process them separately. Headphones, usual MIDI, a couple pedals, a sustain, USB, and actually no wall wart on this product. We actually have a proper mains output.
I guess you got the room.
Yes.
Oh, this beautiful backlit kind of
Yes.
display as well.
Yeah,
So-
that's hard. You can't see it. This is actually backlit, not just a silk screen.
Yeah, and so this is for the voices that are true.
Yeah. So this is an example of a stack sound where one sound is playing chords and the other one's arpeggiating.
So what are you using for the filter circuitry? I mean, because I guess the Curtis chips are a bit hard to come by now, right?
Well, we have the same supply of parts that we still buy from OnChip, which is Doug Curtis's was his company, and we use those on all of our products. So we have access to those. So these are still real Curtis analog low-pass filters.
Wow, okay, cool.
It's a real thing. It's not.
So this looks like it's going to be for the kind of serious keyboard player. You're going to be seeing it live a lot, I think, right? Is that the
Oh yeah. So far, the pros that have seen it have fallen in love with it, and they all want one already. So.
And speaking of wanting one already, when is that going to be?
May.
Okay.
We'll be shipping in April, May.
And have you got any kind of pricing fixed?
$3,000.
Okay. Cool.
Not bad for 12 analog voices.
No, not bad at
With
all.
all the other stuff.
Have we got, what sort of control have we got? We've got aftertouch and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we have wheels, we have the sliders, pressure, aftertouch, and velocity, of course, on the weighted keyboard, pitch and mod wheels, and these sliders are both, they're position and pressure sensitive.
Oh, right, so a lot of...
Yeah, you've got a lot more control. And I always like to point out, since it's knob per function, every one of these knobs is a controller too, right?
Yeah.
You just whenever you want, you just...
Easy target.
Yeah.
So when you're working with the filter, I mean, obviously, you know, the display is 0 to 20. So how do you deal with the kind of interpolation to kind of make it a smooth sweep? I mean, how does that work?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, we always filter all of our controls in the synth engine itself. So these are all real voltage controlled filters. So we generate control voltages, but we do them at a super high frequency. So there's no stepping noise. Everything gets filtered as it gets stepped. So the filters, they actually step in semitones because you can put it in full resonance and play it at the sine waves. And they play in tune because it's all calibrated by the processors. So it'll step in semitones and lock on them, but when you sweep it, it's perfectly smooth. There's no stepping because that's what we do. We filter everything.
Oh, interesting.
It's like people complain about MIDI only being 7 bits. That's not the problem. The problem is the instruments have to be able to smooth out the curves of the data coming in. And most people blame MIDI when in fact it's the instrument design that's at fault.
Right.
So if you're hearing stepping, it's not a good design.
Thank you very much for that information. Dave, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much.
Thank you.